Good evening everyone. So I'm prepping quinoa for my tonight's dinner and I have washed this quinoa a couple of times. We all are trying to eat healthy to be fit and paying attention to the nutrients that we take in. The carbohydrates, the proteins, the iron, the fats. We all know about it and we all read about it and we plan our meals around it to stay healthy. But one element that we kind of forget about is the absorption of these nutrients. Say for example, let's take an example of a mobile. We have put in the socket, we have put in the charger, but we have forgotten to switch it on. So the electricity is not getting passed on and is not absorbed. Similarly, if we are eating healthy meals and we are not paying attention to its absorption, it's not making available to our body. Which brings us to a concept of these anti-nutrients. Now, what are anti-nutrients? Now, anti-nutrients are present in food. They are elements present in food which interferes with the absorption of these nutrients. Now, to understand these anti-nutrients, I'll be sharing a few examples and few anti-nutrients which are present in food. And each of these anti-nutrients have a different impact on different nutrients and the way we can have a solution around this. So the first very common anti-nutrient that we're going to talk about is tannins. Now tannins are present in tea, in our coffee, in chocolates. Now what this tannin does is interferes with the absorption of iron from the food. So for example, if you're eating poha, which is a rich source of iron, and along with that you are having coffee or tea. So while you have enjoyed your poha and tea, but what tannin from this tea is doing is it interferes with the absorption of iron from the poha and it's not available to your body. So while we could have got a good nutrition from this poha, we have not paid attention to the combination that we have had. So that let's look around the second anti-nutrient, which is oxalates. Now oxalates are present in green leafy vegetables, and green leafy vegetables are a good source of calcium. Now what oxalate does, it interferes with the absorption of calcium from these green leafy vegetables. So while we have to get the calcium from these green leafy vegetables, we need to increase the amount of green leafy vegetables that we consume so that we can benefit a good amount of calcium from them. Now the third anti-nutrient that we're going to talk about is phytates. Now phytates are present in dals, in legumes, in nuts and seeds. So what phytate does is it hinders the absorption of protein, of magnesium and zinc. Now a good way to counter the effect of phytates and to make these nutrients available is by soaking these dals and pulses, which is a very common practice in India. My mom also used to do it. So soak your dals and pulses before cooking them so that we can decrease the effect of phytates in the food and the nutrients are better available for our body. Now let's look at another anti-nutrient which is less commonly known but we should be aware is the saponins. Now saponins are present in grains like quinoa. Now what saponins does, it kind of interferes with the digestibility and absorption of proteins in our body. Now the way that we can counteract this effect of saponins is by washing quinoa 2 to 3 times before we have cooked it. So you see, anti-nutrients play a very tricky role in our food. While we cannot avoid these anti-nutrients because they are an inherent part of our healthy food. And not all anti-nutrients are bad. All that we need to do is be a little mindful around these anti-nutrients before we are consuming it, the way we kind of cook it, or the combination of food that we are kind of taking in. While we all focus on the nutrients that we eat, the healthy food that we consume on a daily basis, just be mindful around these anti-nutrients so that the effort that we are putting in terms of eating healthy and making these nutrients available to our body, it kind of is actually available to our body. So be mindful and stay healthy. Thank you.